Hi, Hattie.
Hello, Mummy.
Thanks very much for reading through my story.
No problem.
Could you give me some feedback, please?
Yes, of course I
Thank you.
can. Okay, so I think it's really good, first of all, it's very important to be nice to yourself when you're editing and reading stories. So I think it's
Thank
really
you.
important to
Yeah.
go through and tell you what I liked as well as things that I think you might want to change.
Oh,
Um,
thank you.
but the first thing that I really liked is the way that you kind of just sort of deposit the reader into the story. You don't kind of explain things, you let us sort of work them out as you go along. So you sort of start off by saying, where is it? So, uh, away from the countryside, away from fresh eggs, etc., away from Miss Mackenzie, and most of all, away from Jack. Obviously, at that point, we don't know why you're in. Well, you sort of have a vague idea of why you're in the countryside, but also you don't know who Miss Mackenzie is, you don't know who Jack is, and you don't know kind of what they mean to you, which you kind of then elaborate once you go through the story, which I think is really good. I think probably the first thing I would change, you have got a couple of sort of mistakes in there, they're just sort of spelling and grammar things. So like, for example, in the first paragraph, if you have a little look at the last sentence, so you've got, so why do I feel so empty? You want the I to be capitalized, and you want
Oh,
you
yes.
want a question mark on the end of empty as well. But that's, I mean, those are super easy fixes. That's fine. I do wonder whether you want two ellipses in the first sentence. I do understand what you're doing there by kind of making, like, slowing the pace down, but I think it would probably be better with a comma after so, because
Yeah, that makes
kind
sense.
of like,
I get
so
that. Yeah.
this is it, it's finally arrived. You know what I mean? So just to make it flow a little bit better.
Just overdoing it. Yeah.
Yeah. I really like that you have you've only put a line through some of the things you've taken out. That's really good because it means you can look back, because at some point potentially you might look back and think, oh, actually, even though I crossed that bit out, I quite like to put that bit back in. So
Oh, that's
that's
a good point. So even though it looks scruffy, actually, it's quite helpful to have that. Yeah, thank you.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So when I've done some editing or sort of reading edits on other writers' bits, it's always been super helpful to see bits crossed out. This is, so I did a little research project a couple of years ago into some of Oscar Wilde's writing. So he was a poet and a playwright, really, really good. But I had a look at some of his stuff, and actually he's a really famous writer, and people are so interested in what he crossed out. So it's always good to kind of keep your changes legible, I think. So definitely keep
Is
that
that
in.
the reason why you write things rather than doing it on the computer?
Yes, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, cool. Yeah.
so yeah, it's nice to kind of kind of keep that sort of workbook process going through, so you've got multiple drafts, which you can do on a computer. But if you're doing it on a computer, type it up, and then when you're going to make changes, save it as a new document rather than just kind of wiping everything you've got. You've got some lovely sort of imagery throughout as well. I like your alliteration, and also the way that you're very much doing see not sort of tell, show not tell. So that's really nice. So
Oh, thank you. That's what I was planning to do. That's what I was trying to do.
there's a lovely imagery with the walking through the glade, down the path and smelling the wild garlic. That's lovely. That's really nice. So going through there, you do talk about bluebells quite a lot. I know that you're reinforcing it, but on the second page you've got that third, sort of third paragraph there. You say bluebells.
Oh, yes, so I do.
1, 2,
Yeah, you're quite
3,
right.
quite a
Yeah.
lot of bluebells. So you might want to just take out one potentially. So you might make it, oh, I don't know.
Yeah, thank you. I can have a look at that.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that might be worth having a look at.
Yeah, I'm going to write too many bluebells by the side.
Yeah, again, I don't know, I'm not a huge ellipsis fan, so but it's good to
Yeah,
get different perspectives,
I,
isn't it,
I
actually?
do overdo the ellipses, and you
Because
are quite right.
quite often, something that you do
Yeah.
is something that you think is very natural, and someone else reads it and they go, why are you
Yeah.
doing that?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like I overuse hyphens a lot, or I'd always have to go through my essays at uni to take out the thus, because
Yeah.
I pepper thuses like it's going out of fashion. So
Yeah.
it's sometimes quite good to be aware of those words.
Yeah. Would you dash that then?
To be honest, that one I think you probably can. I think you can get away with that as,
Yeah,
as an ellipsis.
Yeah.
You've got another quite long sentence in that second paragraph of the third page. So that in no time at all,
Yeah.
I'm approaching the brick-built pavilion, and then you might even want to add a bit of like sort of a bit more of emotion there. So what you could do is, in no time at all, I'm approaching the brick-built pavilion, full stop. And then you could have yes, exclamation mark or something.
Yes,
I can hear rustling. And then that, when it then transpires that it's not what you want it to be, that becomes a bit more of a down, maybe.
Yep, that's fine. Thank you.
Again, the picking the leaves and then them dying is really effective. That's really good. Holding them, that was like, oh no, the leaves are dying, just like her experiences in the countryside.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's what you were intending.
That was exactly what I was intending.
Yes.
Thank you.
Well done. Yeah, and also I really like the tawny owl bits. I do wonder whether you might want to add. Sorry, carry on.
No, I just stuck that in right at the very last minute in my storyboard this morning.
I think that's really good.
I've kind of joined on to it as I was writing things out.
I do just wonder whether you want to add in the twoo.
I thought about it and I kind of decided against it.
That's fine. No worries.
Yeah.
That's your, like, again, editing is suggestion. It's not.
Yeah, absolutely.
Obviously, grammar.
Why would you have put in the twoos?
Just because I think if I was reading it and perhaps I didn't know necessarily about it, I would find that piece of information very interesting, but I would also go, but don't they go twoo as well? That's
I was kind of hoping my reader would then go away and kind of look it up and think, oh yeah.
No, that's totally fair.
Okay.
Cool. No, I think it's obviously, again, it's just us coming from different angles.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Lovely.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
No trouble at all. Hopefully that's a bit useful. Obviously there's more.
I'm going to take most of those suggestions on and I will show you the finished article if you're interested.
Wonderful. Yes, I am interested. Super. Lovely.
Yeah.
Bye.